Premier Sailing are situated just 55 minutes from London Liverpool Street Station and are ideally situated not just for the capital but also people who want to come sailing and are based in the Midlands. While we cannot sail at the present time due to the coronavirus, we have received approval to provide interactive shore-based courses. These day skipper and coastal stroke yachtmaster theory courses are more than online. They're a mix of home learning, video tutorials, online exercises, and one-to-one sessions with an instructor via Zoom. So you get a dedicated instructor to help you successfully complete the course. Our instructors are available online during weekdays from 1400 to 1900 and by telephone at other times. Over the years, we've taken a number of videos and photographs of real situations, and we will provide these to support the course. Here are a few clips from our tutorials. So if we have variation, magnetic variation of 7 degrees west, if we draw a compass, true north is vertical. If the course we want to do is 90 degrees from true, so we've taken that from the chart, and variation is 7 west, it's really quite easy to see that our compass is going to have to read 97 degrees magnetic. If we have the same thing but variation is 4 degrees east, we can do exactly the same. There's north, there's the 90 degrees true that we want to steer, but this time variation is 4 degrees east. So again, we can see quite clearly that our compass is now going to read less. So instead of 90 degrees, it is going to be 86 degrees magnetic. If ever you're in doubt, make a sketch. There are all sorts of ways of remembering this, but a sketch is a really good one. Here we see some yellow buoys, and these are being used to protect us from the SS Richard Montgomery, which is an ammunition ship that sank during the Second World War after running aground, having dragged its anchor. So yellow buoys, or special marks, are there to protect us from something, and only by looking at the chart do we know exactly what it is. It's been a busy day today. I've just been asked if I've got an example of doing a running fix for reel, and the only time I've done a running fix for reel was when I sailed on my own around most of the UK. I did from London round to Barrow-in-Furness on my own. A couple of people joined me for short bits, but predominantly on my own. And then my wife sailed with me up and through the Caledonian Canal and back down to where we are in Essex. But going up the Lancashire coast was very interesting because it is, interestingly, pretty flat. And the only thing we could see for miles and miles, or I could see for miles and miles, was Blackpool Tower. And in those days I didn't have a GPS, a chart plotter or anything, so it was a case of how do I know where I am? There's only one landmark that we can see. And so in the morning I took a bearing with the hand bearing compass, adjusted it for variation and drew it on the chart. I then travelled for about an hour, and I had the wind pretty much coming from just abaft the beam. So the wind was coming in this sort of direction. So I estimated that we only had about 2, maybe 3 degrees of leeway. So I guessed we were here. And after making the adjustment for leeway, deviation and all the other bits and bobs, my course was a bit like that. And so this was at about 10 o'clock in the morning. And an hour later, I took another bearing. And the other bearing came out there. So I'd done my log, and I reckon I had done 4 miles ish. Didn't bother with all the 0.1s and 0.2. It was about 4 miles. The tide was going with me. So this was now 11 o'clock. And so I put an hour of tide on. Which took me to there. So I obviously wasn't at my guesstimated position when I set off. Now, if this was a triangle, we would move that up to there so that this bit joined with that bit. But that's a little bit awkward. But if we were to transfer this line to here, we would get the same effect. So, excuse having my back to you. We transfer the line across, and that is our position. That is our fix. So we have transferred this line to there. So if this line was, we must have been around about there when I first looked at the position. So that is a transferred position line or a running fix. So you take your first bearing, do the run for half an hour or an hour, depends on the speed of your boat. The longer you leave it, the more, if you're going at slow speeds, the more accurate it's going to be. And you will find that you're within a very small amount, maybe 1/4 of a mile difference in the actual position from the GPS and your fix. So it's very useful. And that's the only time I've done a running fix for real. I've done lots in practice going up the East Coast with Yachtmaster candidates, getting them to do running fixes. But this is the only time I've ever done it for real. So if you would like to take advantage of one of our courses, just drop us an email, colin@premiersailing.co.uk, or give us a call on 01621 744 902. If we're not in the office, the phone will be redirected to one of our mobiles.